Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com. Industrial workbenches with integrated tool storage. And brought to you by AMSOIL, the first in synthetics. Custom Autosound, the originator of classic car OEM fit radios since 1977. Campbell's CustomCare.com, home of the Dawn Detail Spray.
Nothing better than some ice cold water. Now, is it really cold? Is the cold going into my hand, or is the heat going into the bottle? Welcome to this AMSOIL Tech Tip. It's all about the law of thermodynamics. That's how vehicles work. Let's take a look at a couple of coolant systems. Now, you can see this first one here. This is actually like your vehicles. This is a liquid cool system. And the law of thermodynamics says heat moves from hot to an area of less heat. So think about this. The coolant's going into your engine about 200 degrees, then your cylinder's firing at about 1700 degrees. So law of thermodynamics, bam, the heat's gonna jump from the cylinder to the coolant, take a ride all the way up to the radiator. Now we're at about 220, 230. The outside air is at 80, 70, 60. Guess what? The heat jumps off to the outside air. We're removing the heat from the block, boom, throwing it outside. Now you can see it over here. This is a coolant system on a motorcycle here. We're dealing with some Harley products today, and this is pretty cool. On this one, it's firing. You don't have that liquid cooled. You just have air cooled. So you got that huge temperature inside of here, and then you're at the mercy of these fins here for heat transfer to the outside air. I actually have the cylinder right here. You can see it, which is really cool, and my little piston. So what's happening is the piston's going up and down in there, firing, and then we're getting that massive amount of heat, and we're at the mercy of these fins to cool it. Len, that makes for problems, man. That's a lot of heat, and you actually have some proof here. Walk us through this clip.
It does. This is an air-cooled engine that we had on the dyno here. We were simulating what this bike would see in like what we'd call a parade cycle, where you take away all of the cooling air and just let the engine get very hot. As you can see, the oil temperature jumps to 300 degrees very quickly.
Now that's huge. I mean, we're talking about Harleys and that twin cycle and all that thing going on in there. There's a massive amount of heat. You guys got a product that's going to combat that or actually deal with that. Talk about it.
When you're building something for an air-cooled engine, it's important that you look at viscosity breakdown as it relates to heat. So you want to use a real robust base oil, high-end synthetic type stuff to avoid that breaking down. And then this chart we're showing here, you can actually see where the OEM product actually lost more viscosity than ours did, 6 times more actually.
Yeah, and AMSOIL actually says that that's 6 times better than the OE oil. So go to the website at AMSOIL.com. Check out their Harley products and so much more.
Attention, aspiring racers, listen up. Our PaintedAutoParts.com Motorhead of the Week is a name you might be familiar with, Mason Filippi. Let me tell you, this guy is a racer's racer. You've seen him in IMSA as a professional driver for Hyundai and Brian Herta Autosport. If you're a NASCAR Xfinity Series fan, you've seen him there. NASCAR trucks? Yup. And Filippi was a factory driver for Hyundai in the 24 Hours of Nürburgring. He's even driven an LMP car in the Rolex 24 at Daytona. Mason started out riding dirt bikes as a kid and moving up to go-karts, then Spec Miata. That's where he had a lot of success, even winning the Team Mazda Challenge. But just like most young racers, Mason says finding sponsorship was always a challenge when he was trying to get started, so he's decided to make a difference. He created Open Fender, designed to help racers connect with sponsors and vice versa. It's also where racers can learn how to engage with social media and learn tips from other racers who have found success. Mason says he started OpenFender.com with his younger self in mind, and now he's helping other young racers fund their dreams. I certainly wish OpenFender.com was around back when I wanted to go racing. Thank you, Mason Filippi, for making my favorite sport better, and you are certainly deserving of the title Motorhead of the Week. We've had a professional racer, we've had a retired general, we've had car collectors, we've even had truck drivers on as Motorhead of the Week. So go to motorheadgarage.tv and tell us why you or someone you know should be Motorhead of the Week. We'll get you here on the show. We're out of time for this episode, but we're not out of ideas for great products for your vehicle, so tune in next week when we do it again. From our crew here at Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com, we'll see you next week. Drive safely.